passion for storytelling and social change has grown with time. I think I realized at some point in my life that I needed to communicate for something. I realized that communication is broad, but I needed to find a niche. And that's how I learned that there's a lot, much more that you can communicate about. And my passion was on how I can communicate about social change and development in the world today. And so call me to any conference about environmental sustainability and I'll be there, because that means I will definitely research about environmental sustainability, get to understand what is happening around me in terms of the environment and sustainability, climate change, and also human rights, and whatever else that is of importance in the development sector. So for me, I've been all-rounded in terms of working for different organizations with different visions. But of course, the one vision remains, which is impact, driving impact. And so I'm passionate about impact, and I'm passionate about communicating about impact. And I'm really, really careful on how storytelling is done and how we draft and craft communication strategies that have very clear-cut storytelling strategies. And when you look at storytelling, it is something that is used all over. You know, even the companies that are for profit nowadays use storytelling for their own adverts. For example, Safaricom nowadays uses a lot of storytelling in terms of what has been the impact so far in what it is that they have been able to achieve with the communities that are benefiting from their products and their services. And you know, it gives somebody a touch, a personal touch that wants them to, to belong. You know, I always say there's something beautiful in belonging somewhere, belonging to a community, belonging to a group, belonging to a society. It's very difficult to just stand alone and say that you are just alone. No, we all come from somewhere. And the beauty is when wherever it is that we come from actually recognizes us as one of them because we belong to them. And so year in, year out, when you see companies trying so hard and investing a lot in storytelling, it's because they know that that touch is so important for human beings. It's so important for you and me, because then that means that a product or service will go a long way, because you're not just seeing what the service is doing to somebody, but you're seeing how that service in itself is impacting their whole lives, all right? Is impacting their community, because when one life is touched, so many other lives are touched. If you touch the life of a girl, you touch the life of a family. That girl has sisters, brothers, that girl has parents. That girl could one day get married, and when they get married, they can have children. When they get children, whatever impact that you drove into their lives will be cascaded to their children, to the next generation, and to the next generation. And that is why it is important for us to highlight stories that actually bring change towards a community. Storytelling is powerful because, like one, I've said it brings that personal touch. And number two, it brings authenticity, because we are coming from a point where everything has been acted so much, all right? Even in, for the audience, they have seen a lot of acting. But nowadays we are so careful about bringing the authenticity of what is actually happening Like, for example, behind the scenes. We never used to think about behind the scenes as something that we could actually show to an audience. But nowadays, you just show a company having lunch somewhere or doing a team building or taking coffee in an office, and that alone can generate a lot of views. You get it? So people have learned, I think the psychology of advertising or the psychology of the audience now is they want to see authentic things happening, because authenticity is powerful in the fact that it brings a lot of trust. All right, it brings a lot of trust not only to an organization but also to the vision of the organization, because when somebody actually realizes that vulnerability is something that can be shared, then they are more empowered, and they are more empowered and steered towards trust, because now they know that all this is not just a facade. I don't really have to be perfect to belong. I can also belong to a community that shows imperfections, and I relate to those imperfections. All right, because at the end of the day, we're not all perfect, and showing the audience that perfection is not who we are becomes relatable, because when somebody picks out something that they can relate with, then it means you have won their hearts. So that's really the power of storytelling. And just to go back to what I was talking about, that storytelling captivates all audiences, and storytelling is important for all organizations, be they for profit and not for profit. It cuts across, because we have one agenda, and the agenda is to reach out and to be relatable to those who want to belong or actually belong to us. And so I would, for any day, champion the idea about storytelling, something that I've grown into, something that I love doing, something that you can wake me up in the middle of the night and I'll be able to write down a script on how to, just bring out a story to share with the world on whatever it is that you're trying to put up. And I'm also very passionate about small and medium enterprises, about how they communicate their journeys. Sometimes we're all about growing fast, but we don't realize that even the challenges that we face add into the flavor of storytelling. Because you can think, I just want to share my success because people just want to see me succeed. But even those challenges that you go through, my brother is a baker. He's called Javan, so he has this company that he's building. It's called Javan Bakes. And I was just telling him the other day that as long as something belongs to you, even the challenges become you, and the challenges become beautiful, because at the end of the day, it is you and it is yours. And so even as you face those challenges, because I remember there's a day he told me that he had an order to go and deliver samosas in a certain organization, but then the feedback was not good at all. And I think after that day, he has been working on it. And even as we speak now, he has an order for 60 samosas to deliver. So I think just believing in yourself and saying that the challenge I have faced is not going to break me, but it's going to be a story that is going to captivate, and it's going to be a story that is going to enable me to springboard from where it is that I am to where it is that I want to be. And so it's very okay to also just share the stories of those who are working with you and the communities that you're building, because you exactly want to show who they are, where they are now, and where they want to go. So if you want to, participate and engage in this conversation, feel free, comment, and even just share if you want to make this something that will build somebody else. Yeah, I'm easy. See you soon.